Ambassador Chen stood at the crystalline observation deck of the Valorian flagship, watching Earth rotate below. 6 months of diplomatic negotiations had brought humanity to the brink of joining the Galactic Confederation, but the cost weighed heavily on his shoulders. Princess Seraphine of House Valor stood beside him, her luminescent skin casting soft blue light across the viewport. She had been his liaison, his teacher in the ways of galactic politics, and somewhere along the way she had become something more. "Your planet is beautiful," she said, her voice like wind chimes in a summer breeze. "I understand now why your people fight so hard to preserve it." Chen smiled sadly. "And yet we might lose it anyway if we don't agree to their terms." The Confederation's offer was generous but came with strings. Earth would receive protection, technology, and trade access, but humanity would have to accept a governor from one of the elder races. The Valorians, despite their power, couldn't override the Council's decision without risking civil war across 1,000 worlds. "I've studied your species extensively these past months," Seraphine continued, turning to face him. Her eyes, triple-irised and silver, held an intensity that made his breath catch. "Humans are remarkable. You feel deeply, love fiercely, and refuse to surrender even when logic demands it." "Stubbornness is our defining trait," Chen replied with a weak laugh. "No," she corrected gently. "Hope is." They had spent countless hours together sharing stories of their worlds. She had told him of Valor's ancient crystal forests, where trees sang in frequencies that could heal the soul. He had shared humanity's messy, violent, beautiful history, the wars and art, the failures and triumphs, the way humans loved so desperately despite knowing all things must end. And somewhere in those conversations, Chen had fallen for her. It was absurd, impossible, and completely human. "Tomorrow the council votes," Seraphine said softly. "My father has done everything he can, but the elder races fear humanity's potential. They see Earth's divided nations, your nuclear weapons, your environmental damage, and they worry." "They're not wrong to worry," Chen admitted. "We're barely past our own childhood as a species. But childhood is where the greatest growth occurs." Her hand, with its 6 elegant fingers, reached out and touched his arm. The gesture, so simple yet so forbidden by Valorian custom, sent electricity through him. "Chen, I must tell you something. In 3 days, my bonding ceremony with Prince Thural of the Crimson Nebula will commence. It's a political alliance my father arranged years ago." The words hit him like a physical blow. He had known intellectually that she was royalty, that her life was not her own. But hearing it spoken aloud made it real. "I understand," he managed, his voice hoarse. "Duty above all else. Is it not the same for you? You carry Earth's future on your shoulders." "It is," he agreed, "which is why I won't say what I'm thinking." Seraphine's bioluminescent patterns flickered, a sign of distress he had learned to recognize. "Perhaps you should say it anyway. We may not have another chance." Chen turned away, pressing his forehead against the cool crystal viewport. Below he could see the lights of cities, billions of humans sleeping, unaware that their fate hung in balance. His parents were down there in Beijing, his sister and her children, all of humanity waiting for him to save them. "I wish I could marry her," he whispered so quietly he barely heard himself. It was a foolish, impossible wish, but it escaped anyway, carried on a breath of desperation and longing. Behind him, Seraphine went completely still. Her bioluminescence flared brilliant blue, then shifted to colors Chen had never seen her display before. Golds and violets, swirling like a nebula across her skin. "Chen," she said, her voice trembling. "What did you say?" He turned, confused by her reaction. "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have." "Say it again, clearly." Something in her tone, urgent and almost frightened, made him comply. "I wish I could marry you. I know it's impossible, I know you're engaged, I know there are 1,000 reasons why. I accept." The words hung in the air between them like a suspended gravity field. "What?" Seraphine's expression transformed into something between joy and terror. "You don't understand what you've done. By Valorian law, any declaration of marriage witnessed by the individual's house—" She gestured to the royal insignia glowing on the wall. A monitoring device he had forgotten was there. "That is accepted creates a binding contract superseding all previous arrangements." Chen's mind raced. "You're saying—" "The AI has already transmitted it to the Council. By speaking those words to me in this place, under observation of House Valor's authority and by my acceptance, You have proposed according to ancient law. My father cannot refuse without dishonoring our house. Prince Thoral's agreement is dissolved. But I'm human. The council cannot overturn a Valorian marriage bond. It's one of our few absolute rights. Seraphine moved closer, her patterns now pulsing with radiant gold. My father will be furious. The Crimson Nebula will feel insulted. There will be political chaos. Then we'll undo it, Chen said quickly, though his heart screamed in protest. I won't let you sacrifice. Sacrifice. Seraphine laughed, a sound like crystal bells. Chen, I have been searching for a way out of that arrangement for 3 cycles. I simply never imagined the solution would be a human who was too noble to speak his heart until it was too late. She took his hands in hers. Do you understand what this means? A human married to Valorian royalty? The council cannot impose a foreign governor on Earth. It would be seen as an insult to my house. Your world gains protection through marriage alliance rather than subjugation. Chen's diplomatic training kicked in, analyzing angles and implications. Your people will see it as you lowering yourself. Let them. I choose my own path. Her eyes met his, unwavering. Besides, there is precedent. The Valorian marriage bond exists precisely because we believe love transcends politics. We simply haven't needed to invoke it in a millennium. She smiled. Leave it to humans to resurrect ancient traditions. Above them, the ship's communication system chimed with incoming priority messages. Chen could imagine the chaos erupting across the diplomatic channels. Are you certain? He asked. Once this path is taken, I was certain the moment you spoke of your sister's children with such tenderness. Seraphine interrupted. When you defended your species' right to make mistakes and grow, when you looked at my world's beauty with wonder instead of greed. She squeezed his hands. I have been certain for months. I simply thought it impossible. Chen pulled her close, this alien princess who had just upended galactic politics for a whispered wish. Humanity has always specialized in the impossible. Then we should fit together perfectly, she whispered back. Below them, Earth continued its rotation, unaware that its salvation had come not through military might or desperate negotiation, but through the most human thing of all, a love that refused to accept impossibility as an answer. And in the crystal halls of the Valorian flagship, the galaxy began to learn what humanity had always known, that hope, stubbornness, and love were not weaknesses to be exploited, but forces powerful enough to reshape the stars themselves.